How many people are you going to run through before you realize that the only running that you've been doing is running away from the problem, which is you? And trust me, that's okay. To fuck up is to be human. And I say these in the wise words of Splode from Invincible. That's right, today we're talking about Rex, okay? That's my guy. And he is exactly not my type of guy. At least he wasn't in season 1. Season 1 Rex was kind of an awful human being. Just the definition of toxic masculinity, cheating on his long-term committed girlfriend, who is also the baddest bitch ever. Also, do they have an age difference that, well, let's not discuss these things. I don't even know how old Rex is, but from what I understand, when she was in middle school, he was a teen and crashing at her place, so 2 + 2 = 20? I don't know. Anyways, he just wasn't that great of a human being. And it's not that he wasn't at his core a good person. He was just reacting to life the way that his experiences showed him were acceptable ways to act in life. This is a man who was not allowed to have his own identity outside of being a superhero. This is a man who got sold by his family to the government and had no example of what unconditional love looks like, what commitment and loyalty looks like. So it's not a surprise looking back that this is the way he acted. He was a hurt human being. And the things that I want to talk about in this video today are not just how Rex overcame toxicity, but on the flip side, something that we saw at the very end of his arc, how we ought to let people change in our lives because people are not as stagnant as we may think they are. Some people will stay in the same place for years or decades. This is true. Like I said at the beginning of this video, how many people are some people gonna run through before they realize their mistakes? We don't know. Could be 1, 10, 100? Who's to say? But what I can say is that Splode truly is the definition of a modern day redemption arc, okay? We've seen redemption arcs before. We saw it with Zuko in Avatar: The Last Airbender and other examples that I can't name right now, probably also Nolan. But those kinds of arcs, they're either very extreme, like Nolan Grayson's, like we can kind of relate, but we can't totally relate because we haven't been murderers, I hope. And with Zuko, we can relate to the feeling, but most of us probably are not members of the royal family with completely evil sisters. Not evil, you know what I mean? She's also traumatized, but the circumstances do not allow us to actually self-insert so much. The difference with how Invincible approaches Splode is that we can actually insert ourselves into his character quite easily. He is arguably having the most modern day human-like redemption arc in history. We take his arc in season 1. He's kind of an asshole. No one really likes him. He's obnoxious, annoying, he can't be loyal, he talks down to other people, he pretends to know things that he definitely does not know, and he seems to not care. But as we see over the progression of the series, that's not who he is at his core. We do get some insight into his backstory, which I mentioned earlier, him being sold to the government, him having no identity outside of being a superhero. But we also get a glimpse at like him learning. So we take Ray, who's also very, very, very close to regular human-like arcs, I guess. If you look at The Boys and you take Annie, her whole identity of having been pushed into the pageant world because her mom was like, oh, you have powers, oh my gosh, you're a superhero, let's like make money off of you, mwahahaha. That was the same thing with Ray. Her parents realized she was a superhero, they put her in all these teams and in gigs, and they thought they were doing something for her, but they really weren't allowing her to live the life that she wanted to live or figure out who she really was. So in that sense, she kind of relates to Rex. She also struggled with identity. It wasn't just that she wasn't allowed to be anything other than a superhero, she was kind of led to believe that that's the only thing she wanted to be or could be. Then we kind of get this idea that she wants a regular human life. She's watching reality TV and thinking about just a nice dinner. One night where you're not going out to save the world, you're just sharing a meal with another person. And I hope that this mic is not moving around and making weird noises. Anyways, we see Rex learn in real time, being exposed to other people like Ray, like Eve, like Mark. He realized realizes that life is not just about being one thing, and life is not just about continuously making the same mistake and letting that mistake define you. He chooses at one point to start making up for those mistakes. And he does some very, very sweet things with Ray. He actually goes and gets food for her. He cooks this dinner for her. He helps her move out. He accepts her when she wants to quit the team, but he knows that he won't be able to. Yet they still choose each other in that moment. That is beautiful. By the end of Rex's arc, we can truly feel as an audience how much he has changed. He's taken us on that journey with us, and now we get to mourn him, seeing him more holistically. On the flip side of that, we have Eve. Eve was hurt by Rex, and I understand that feeling. I've been cheated on multiple times. It's really hard for me to admit that. It's almost embarrassing. Like, hey, I've been cheated on. Ha 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 ha. The first time that I got cheated on, I definitely thought that I just wasn't good enough. Like, my looks were not good enough. I wasn't sexy enough. Maybe if I was a beautiful person, then this person wouldn't have cheated on me. Maybe if I wasn't such a fuck up, this person wouldn't have cheated on me. That's not how it works. Definitely not. And then I continued to see that person as like evil at the same time. I simultaneously blamed myself for what happened, and I refused to see him as anything else other than evil and a cheater. I have no idea where this man is now and what he's up to. I can only pray that he has learned from the experiences he's put himself through, because I truly believe people who cheat are putting themselves through the most horrific experience imaginable. I honestly now think that it is worse off for the cheater than the cheated on. Being cheated on feels awful. Don't get me wrong. It makes you feel gross. It makes you feel not worthy. It makes you feel not chosen. It makes you question everything. You start gaslighting the whole experience. You start to think, what could I have done better? Then you also get hit with wanting to have revenge, wanting to hate, wanting to rage, wanting to deny. Like, it's awful. But for the cheater, like, they hate themselves for it. Can I say that? Cheaters hate themselves. Oh my God. They are so insecure. They really, really, really want to be loyal, but they keep running away from themselves, seeking short-term pleasure, and that's okay. That is okay. I used to really, really judge cheaters. Like, once a cheater, always a cheater. And I learned what Eve had to say at Rex's funeral about letting people change, because they do. That is the fact of human life. We are evolving creatures. Actually, even though our brains favor familiarity, the way that the human brain has been structured, where we can unwire and rewire our nerve cells and our neurological pathways, the fact that we are made more of energy than matter, that means that we are not actually static. If we believe ourselves to be static, then we are static. But it is a mental block, much like Eve's mental block on her powers. And so I love that Invincible addressed this from Eve's point of view. In the end, it's less that she felt shame and regret, but she kind of had that realization, like, he really did change, but because I couldn't let go of that old story and that past version of him, I didn't get to enjoy the new version of him that did exist. She acknowledges that he had changed, and she also acknowledged her failure to allow him to change in her mind. This is something that doesn't just apply to romantic relationships. I think most people have been hurt one time or another by someone, and for a long time, you are so blinded. Like, the whiplash and the feeling that is felt when you are betrayed is probably one of the hardest to overcome. I think it's harder than loss itself, because loss, that seems unavoidable. Betrayal, that seems targeted. That seems personal. But I'm here to tell you that it's not personal. Actually, when you are betrayed by someone, that person is just going through it. And I guarantee you, even if they don't show it, even if it seems like they're not feeling the consequences of their actions, 100% it is going to catch up to them, and they will have to reap what they sow. You might not be the one where they finally stop running away from themselves, but you can be confident in the matter that they will run into this problem again and again and again and again until they change. Life is a helix that moves upwards like this. So when we run into a problem that specifically aligns to the worldview that we currently have, and it poses a dilemma in front of us, it poses conflict in front of us. We decide how to act. If we act the same way that we did yesterday, then we are going to get the same outcome. And there's the loop. And there's the loop again. Rex was a cheater. He also got cheated on. This is the loop he was stuck in. What did he do? He removed himself from the loop. He started to open up. He started to change. And thankfully, there were some people who allowed him to change in their eyes. I know for a fact that Ray saw him at the beginning and did not think shit about him. She started to see him for what he really was the more that she got to know him. And she gave him a safe space to become the man he was always meant to be. In conclusion, it is important to let people change. And it is even more important to analyze how different people overcome their negative habits, because it's not going to look the same for anybody. Some people are going to learn their lesson the first time. Some people are going to learn their lesson the 8th time, the 10th time, and there's nothing you can do to control that. I used to really want to be the person that changed my significant partner, my significant other, and that's not how it works. So now I'm focusing on being the best me, because that's all that matters. If I am the best me, I can allow myself to see others as they truly are. That means that if a person changes, it's okay. If a person doesn't change, that's also okay. I understand now that things are not personal, that people's personalities are not meant as some kind of attack on me or experiment on me, okay? Life is not testing me. I am moving through life, and I just have to choose every day how I'm gonna approach it. That's all for today's video. I just wanted to talk about that. No script, no prior planning, just Invincible, Splode, Eve, Toxicity, and letting people change. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.